Alright, man, we're here with Pook Paperz, man, live from the P, South Philly. Now, I mean, you fresh home. You said you been home for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, like 2 Fridays ago. 2 weeks.
Where? So you basically telling me like you out on bail, you still rumbling in the situation. So we wish you the best with all that. Know what I mean?
Sure.
Alright, so a lot of people remember you from the whole Touch Money situation. And I want to get your story on like how you became a part of that. Vince, though you from South Philly and most of Touch Money is from West Philly. So how you ended up becoming a part of that situation?
Briks, you know what I'm saying? For my dog Brick Raw, you know what I'm saying? Like, but Briks, he plugged me in with Touch Money. You know, I had done more time than him back then. We had met up Glen Mills or whatever. We battled up Glen Mills. You know what I'm saying? We was tight up there. And fucking when I came home and shit, like I had came home before him. But when he came home, he had got right back busy and shit. Got busy on the DVDs out of nowhere. So, you know, I used to catch him on the DVDs and shit. I used to catch him on the DVDs and let him see him doing this thing. And then I walked in the hut one day and I seen him. You know, I never knew where they used to be or where the store was at or whatever. I used to always just see him, man, But I seen him. He was in there with Nietzsche, Touch Money, Nah. A couple other niggas was in there, you feel me? He plugged me right in the Nah, you know what I'm saying? First Nah kind of brushed me off, you feel me? You know, a lot of niggas that was trying to get down at that time, you know what I mean? But eventually I spit for him, you know what I'm saying? He was feeling me. The rest was history, you know what I'm saying?
So it was a lot of members of Touch Money at the time that you came. Like, was you one of the newest people? Like, was everybody already there?
Pretty much everybody was already there. The newest member that kind of came around the same time I came, was Young Hot. Like, he was the only one. And, you know, Young Hot was like, he was Touch Money, but he was like affiliated. Like he always did his own thing, you feel me? But he was like Touch Money affiliated. Like we like linked up with Touch Money around the same time. But like I was like part of that group though, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really trying to do my own thing. Like I was cool with, you know what I'm saying, being in a group at the time.
And you had told me before, like, you and Briks was kind of like a group within Touch Money. Like, it seemed like Touch Money, I mean, had like little cliques amongst the whole group because there was so many people. So it seemed like NH and Boom had a little thing going. It seemed like you and Briks had a little thing going. So talk a little bit about that. Like, was Touch Money broken down to like different groups and stuff like that?
It kind of was, but then it kind of wasn't. It was like, you know, NH and Kaboom, they was the top niggas, you know what I'm saying? Back then they was the top niggas in the group, so they kind of stood out as a group. You know, they already had a tape that dropped together, you know what I'm saying? They was already bombing DVDs and all that. They had the most buzz in the group, so that's how they linked up, you know what I'm saying? Me and Briks, we was already homies before the Touch Money shit, so that's why we kind of clicked up, like, you know what I mean? I think back then Marley Franks and Stuntwoods, they kind of was doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? But we all was one team, but it was definitely like little groups within groups, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we was all a family, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, so you said you watched some of the other interviews that we did when people was talking about, you know, the Touch Money top class versus headshot situation. So you definitely was around at this time. So get your thoughts on it, like what was going on in your mind. Like what was your thoughts on the situation as it was happening?
That shit was I thought it was good for Philly. I was happy that when I came around, you know what I'm saying, it just had popped off. Like right when I came around, gave me a little chance, like, to do my thing, you know what I'm saying, show my skill. But it was definitely the biggest thing in Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying? It was the biggest thing in Philadelphia. I don't necessarily remember how it popped off, like, but when it popped off, I was Touch Money, so I was rocking with them. Even though Bloodhounds was from down here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I went to school with niggas and I see niggas, you know what I'm saying? Every day was still like, I was a group, you know what I'm saying? So I was rocking with my group, but that shit was real big time, you know what I mean? That shit was big time for the city, big time for me. Like, it actually, like, gave me a name and solidified me in the underground, you know what I mean? Like, it solidified me. That's where people started knowing who I was once I linked up with that around that time, you know what I mean? When the disses and the battles and all that shit was going on. That was a good wave right there.
Word. So yeah, I want to touch on that part because you know Philly real geographical, and like I said, most of Touch Money was from West Philly, and you and Emma was like the only ones from South Philly, and then on Headshot side, most of them was from North Philly, but then they had the Bloodhounds was from South Philly, and then they had Greg G's from Southwest as well. So like, speak on that, like like you said, you grew up with some of them guys, so you knew them. So like, did y'all ever diss each other in the mix of that, or was it just, I mean, y'all just left that neutral?
I'm gonna keep it real, like, back then, like, I mean, of course I dissed them, you know what I'm saying? They dissed me or they dissed us in a group or whatever, but it was more so like, they was up on H, like, they ain't really wasn't up on me, like, I live right around the corner and shit, you know what I mean? I would see niggas and niggas would still speak and all that, we'll still be cool, but they'll see me, yo, I'm on your man H top, like, you know what I mean? It was kind of different, it wasn't like no real beef with me and the Bloodhounds, you know what I'm saying? It was more like the Bloodhounds was up on H and them, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't never like with me, like, oh, I'm gonna see Paperz and I'm gonna do something to Paperz. Plus, like, I wasn't letting nobody do nothing to me, because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't one of them boys that was letting somebody do something to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it wasn't really never no big beef between us, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it was still love, but it was just like, they was they group, they was Headshots, I was Touch Money, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna switch sides just because I was from the P. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was all music, it was entertainment. It was getting real between H and Lil and H and Meek, but once niggas started making money off that shit and seeing how poppin' we was off that shit, niggas just started focusing on trying to make a bag off that shit. Wasn't really no real violence going on, you know what I'm saying?
Word. So did you ever get any backlash from joining down with them bands though you from the P? Like people ever like, yo, why you messing with them? They from West, you from South Philly, like you ever get any of that?
Sometimes, not really, like, you know what I'm saying? I think Emma caught more of the backlash for me. Emma caught more of the backlash than I did, but not really, bro. It was, I've always been a solid nigga, you feel me? Like, always been a solid dude. Nobody never really, like, came at me wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really came at me wrong or came at me the way that they came at other niggas, will say that, you know what I'm saying?
Word. So once the situation, you know, in the other interviews, people explain like how the situation ultimately got squashed and stuff. And on one side, they were saying that Gil had brung Marie and Hattie together, and on the other side, they were saying like Oskino had brung NH and Meek together, and they got squashed. And everybody pretty much started doing their own thing. So what was your thoughts? Like, what was Pook Paperz' mindset? Like, what was you doing? Like, once the whole situation was over with?
I ain't gonna front, like when the whole situation was over with, like I was locked up. I was up to F, you know what I'm saying? I think I had like a 9 to 23 or 11 to 23 to do at the time, so that was around the time I was hearing them niggas on the radio, you know, with the Three Kings shit and all that, so, you know, I'm really hearing that the beef was squashed through the radio. I wasn't there for Oskino squashing it or there for Gilly squashing it or none of that. And when I came home, that shit was just over, you know what I mean?
Word. So when you came home, at some point in time, Nah had ended up getting locked up. The cops had raided the hut, and I think he mentioned that you was there as well.
I got locked up, really.
Yeah, so speak about that, because that was like one of the pivotal moments that kind of, you know, messed the whole situation up for us Touch Money. So go ahead, speak on that.
I mean, like, if you've been to the hut, you know what I'm saying, you know, like, it was a rap store, but it wasn't just rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a drug store. It was a drug store too, you feel me? Now that it's over, you can really speak on it, but you know what I'm saying? It was like, so you can go to the hut, you can get some music, you can get some other things, you know what I'm saying? And just so happened I was in there, you know what I'm saying? I was in there every day, but it just so happened the day that I was in there, you know, the strike force came in there, they raided the joint, I got locked up with a gun on my hip, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, Lord Caution was sitting at the window talking to each other and the cops blitz. You know what I'm saying? I got locked up, I had a gun right on my hip, they took that shit right on my hip. So I got booked that day. Nah, I got booked because he worked behind the counter. So my old head Butchie, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, my nigga Butch, you know what I'm saying? He had got locked up. That was like the end of the hut right there. That shit was over after that, you know what I'm saying? Slapped one of them orange Johns when the city take the John, one of them Johns over there, you know what I'm saying? And that shit was over, you know what I'm saying? The hut was dead ever since that day. It was August 2006. Remember that shit like it was yesterday.
Word. So Benz, though you got locked up at that time, did you end up doing tips because behind that situation?
No, we all paid bail. We all paid bail and we all went on a run. We all paid bail and we all went on a run. We ain't never go to court for that shit. We just was rocking. I got locked up first. That's how I ended up doing the 9 and 23 when I said I was locked up when, you know what I mean, Gil or O was squashing the beef and shit like that. I mean, that's how that shit happened. You know what I'm saying?
Word. So after you finally come home, now I was still sitting, so the hut was already took and the hut was already down. So what was your thoughts on that coming home? Like, damn, ain't no more hut, the whole situation different. And then what was your moves from there? Like, once that situation went down, what did you do once you came home?
It was kind of like the hut was gone, but we still had top class studio. So like back before the hut got shut down and shit, like we would play the hut all day, and then at nighttime we'll play the studio. When the store closed, we'll go to the studio and play the studio all night. So it's like when the hut got closed, niggas just moved and mobbed to the studio and shit. We were just in the studio all fucking day with it, like. And like when I came home, that's how niggas was carrying it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was still in the studio, playing the studio. I fell right back in place, you know what I'm saying? I think me and Briks dropped our first mixtape, Young and the Reckless, you know what I'm saying? H was still doing his thing, but his Mr. Comfortable thing. Boom was dropping. It still was going on, you feel me? The hut just was like, you know, that was our stamp. So when we lost that, like we lost a lot of business. We ain't really lose the buzz, but we just lost a lot of business, you know what I'm saying?
So as some time went on, it seemed like people kind of started doing more of their own thing. Like everybody kind of started doing their own thing. And then so before you ended up doing your own thing and kind of like re-emerging, did you get locked up and then come home and do that, or was that a transition all while you was out here?
I was down for 2 shootings or whatever. 2 shootings and that gap from the hut case. I ended up beating my shootings. And I lost trial for my gun. So I got 3 years and shit. I went back for 3 years. At the time I'm locked up, this when Briks went on a run for his situation. He caught his situation. You know, I was at the F, I'm seeing him on the news every day. They looking for him and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But that's how that shit really went. I had got locked up in the mix of that. Back then I was always back and forth to jail. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna speak on that because like you one of the people, you and I gotta say K-Dot off top. Yeah. I think both of y'all could be like two, like y'all still got respect in the streets. A lot of people in Philly still respect y'all, but I think y'all could be way ahead of where y'all at if y'all wasn't in and out of jail. Like I think from outside looking in, like you seem like you always was in and out. So speak on that, like.
Yeah, I mean. It took me a while to figure it out, man. You know, sometimes they say you gotta go back a couple times before you figure it out, man. I thought that I could do both, you know what I'm saying? I thought that I could like rap and hustle and all of that, like still was a street nigga, you know what I mean? Around the time that I got with Touch Money, I was doing my own thing. I was like evolving myself in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like I was hustling, you know, I'm catching my first little shootings, you know what I mean? I'm getting money. Now I'm on DVDs, I'm popping, I'm fucking bitches, you know what I mean? My head getting big, you know what I'm saying? But I should have took the rap shit serious. I should have put that shit first, but I put the streets first. And being as though I did that, you feel me? Like I kept going back and forth to jail, back and forth to jail. A lot of the shit that I was going to jail for was shit that I did when I was younger. But it caught back up to me and still killed me though, you know what I'm saying? Killed my whole situation. I mean like, just being booked, that whole mindset, like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just a whole process, man. You know, you start off at placements, you end up at prison, then you end up in the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the whole process. At the time, my attitude was, you know what I'm saying, fuck it. Like, I didn't really give a fuck about too much back then, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really have too much to live for and shit like I do now, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't. I ain't gonna say I ain't mind, nobody ain't wanna go to jail, but I just really didn't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a nonchalant attitude, you know what I'm saying, about my life. Like I didn't understand how bad like I was killing myself, you know what I mean? Like I didn't understand how bad I was killing my situation and killing my opportunities and wasting my life in that, you know what I'm saying? I think it took for me to go upstate to humble myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I came from upstate, that's when I kind of humbled myself, you know what I mean? Because I had the 2 years fighting my shootings, and then I came home and I came home for 3 months, lost my trial, and went back for 3 years. So that was like a nickel, you know what I'm saying? That shit just killed me. And then I had got my mind right in there and shit. And that's the person that I evolved into now, you know what I'm saying? Take life way more serious now than I ever did. Got a lot of things to love for now, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, so getting back to the situation, like once you finally came home and like you said, now I was still sitting. I mean, and Touch Money had kind of started to, you know, everybody kind of started doing their own thing, and then you see on the other side, like Headshots kind of start going through their own internal issues, and then they start kind of doing their own thing as well. So what was your thoughts seeing like how their situation went down?
Like, you talking about when I came home from upstate?
Yeah, like when you came home and the Touch Money situation wasn't like it was before.
That shit was over.
Yeah, once that situation was over, and then you look over at Headshots and you see their situation kind of. Yeah, what was your thoughts on their situation as well? Like,
it was like when I came home to the social media world, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole nother world. You know, we was YouTube babies, you know what I'm saying? So now like the social network babies now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I was trying to learn how to work Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that. I seen like that was the way that you was going to win. Like I was writing a lot when I was upstate. I was writing a lot when I was upstate. I wasn't really I was writing a lot, you know what I'm saying, doing a lot of shit, putting a lot of things together. I ain't really know how I was gonna be. Like I wasn't really keeping contact with too many niggas, you know. Nah was already locked up, Briks was already locked up, you know what I'm saying? So I really wasn't keeping up. I was talking to NH here and there, you know what I'm saying? Like he was still doing his thing, but I wasn't really keeping up with that shit because I was trying to get my time out the way, do my time and all of that, you feel me?
Yeah, so moving forward from that, at some point you started moving on your own, you started doing your own mixtapes, you came out with your own movement called Cut Different, know what I mean? Street Approved and all that, and you started making a wave in the streets, like basically like a reemergence of Pook Paperz, like know what I mean? So speak on that, like how you went about doing that situation.
I ain't going from when I was upstate and shit, I came up with the Street Approved, Cut Different shit upstate, you know what I'm saying? I knew when I came home I wasn't gonna fuck with Touch Money. I mean, like I was gonna fuck with him, but I knew I was gonna do my own thing because back when I was Touch Money, I always had to play the back. I never got a chance to, you know what I'm saying, like be the front nigga. I was cool with playing the back though, you know what I'm saying, because at the end of the day I still was, you know what I mean, getting my love and my popularity and my respect off this shit, but I never got a chance to be the top nigga. I never really got a chance for the streets to see my full potential. Like niggas knew I was hot, but you know what I mean, the top niggas back then was NH, Kaboom, you know what I'm saying, Briks, Caution. They was like the top guys back then, you know what I'm saying. I kind of played it back. I was cool with it, you feel me, because on the mix of all that I still had other shit that was going on in the streets. As long as I was able to get on a DVD, you know what I'm saying, make a couple dollars off that shit, fuck a little couple bitches, I was cool with that. But when I came from upstate though, it was like I gotta make my own name, you know what I'm saying? Before I went to jail, everything was Pook Paperz with an S on the end. When I came home, I put a Z on the end of it, you know what I'm saying? I switched it up, started the Street Approved shit. I had wrote a plan, a whole itinerary of shit that I was gonna do when I came home. I come home and start the Street Approved shit. I'm gonna drop some tapes, I'm gonna get some clothes, I'm gonna do this and that, and then came home, I just followed our itinerary, started checking everything off my list. I had I linked up with this guy from Jersey and shit, my man He Met Briks and shit. I shot my first music video, and then I watched my shit evolve after that, you know what I'm saying? He had shot this joint called When I Die. I don't know, it's just the way that he made me look on camera, you know what I'm saying? He had the whole city feeling that shit, you know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers was checking for more after that, so I just kept giving them more, kept giving them more music. They was feeling me. I started stamping myself out here as a solo artist instead of a group. You know, motherfuckers always knew me Pook Paperz from Touch Money, but they was feeling the street of Pook, you know what I'm saying? They was feeling that cut different shit, you know what I'm saying?
Heard. So yeah, you come from the DVD era, and now today you in the mix with some of the guys, the new up and coming guys that's doing their thing. Like as of lately, I see like F.A.M.E post your stuff. Like I see you got a relationship with him.
Yeah,
Now I mean, so speak about working with the new guys now, coming from the era you come from, and now you be in the mix with the guys that's popping right now.
I feel like